I would like to go to the beginning of your journey in the US. You arrived there young, you don't speak English, you don't read English, you cannot listen English too much. So how you manage to go through the high school system and be successful, then go to the university? That's for me the key question, because a lot of folks, uh, let me put a little bit of my thought there, thinks that language that you master as a kid is important in your success in school. But what you showed to me, and what a couple of Haitian students that I brought in SU in engineering department showed to me, that's not really true. So I would like to understand by your experience how you manage to go to zero knowledge in English and to be successful in a class in English. And
Well,
then,
for me, as many immigrants, for example, it's not just Haitian. A lot of people
no,
just
but
they
for
come
you,
into and here and are very successful, and I'm no different than that. And but for me particularly, it
mhm.
comes from my family's the expectation. For example, we all go with expectation and example. That's why it's so great to have examples. To be successful. For example, when I came here, for example, my sisters, my sister, my older brothers, they were already, in graduating in school and stuff like that. And I know this is the path that I had to take. So it was really, it's not like something that somebody tells you that this is what you have to do, but the expectation that you have, when you an immigrant, of course, you came come here to make your life better, right? You didn't come here, just to, you know, be the same that you were in Haiti, for example. But the point is, it was great to have examples. Hey, you have your brothers, your sisters, and graduating from school. Okay, this is the path that I have to take. And of course, it's also good when you have somebody guiding you. Say, hey, this is where you have to go to school. This is where you can take the courses that you're interested in. But it's something much more fundamental than that. As I said, it has to do more with expectation and a family environment and what your environment is like. That's the way that I would put it. I don't know if it's
Yes.
clear enough.
So for me, I'll tell you, it, Eve, of course, had his siblings here, but for me, when we came, it was my family, my immediate family, all of us came together. And my aunt and uncle were the one who actually sponsored us to come here. And they did not know much about the school system because they didn't have kids of our age when we came to the States. So it was, I would say, it started out through friendship. My parents had friends in the US, and I recall one of their friends in particular came to our house and picked us up and registered us for school. And to this day, I'm very thankful for the actions that they took to time off from their own day-to-day work to do that with us. But once you get in there, I think the question would be go, so how do you navigate, right? Because you don't speak the language, you don't really know anybody. There's one thing that the schools, and I don't know if they still make that available today, but I assume that they do, was that they offer you
Yes, sir.
English as a second language courses.
Mhm.
So I took a lot of English as a second language courses my first year. But the knowledge that I had already gained in Haiti in school was very helpful. But it's not to say that I was learning uh, math, arithmetics as an example, because I had already learned arithmetics in Haiti. What I was learning is how to understand and do math in English.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? And what are the different terminologies, and how do you say pounds in English as compared to pounds in Creole or in French? So you need to learn all of those different things. And so first of all, you have the English as a second language courses, and I highly encourage everybody to actually do take those classes as those ESL classes. The second one is you have the school counselors. And the school's counselors are there to really help you and guide you in taking the right courses. So I remember meeting with the school counselors a lot, quite often. And last but not least, I'd say communicate with your peers. So there are lots of other Haitians within the schools who probably have been here 3 months before you or a year before you. They've gone through the system, they've gone through the process. So they also guide you to their experience. So learn from them as well. Of course, you have good and bad that you can learn. So focus on the good part of it, right? But in
Yeah.
general, is in general is taking the ESL courses, participate in the school activities, and also meet with your counselor. Meet and meet and meet and meet with your counselors, because they will help you understand when you need to apply for college. What are the minimum grades that you need to have in order for you to apply for the right to the right university? The type of scholarships that may or may not be available to you, or even if they don't know it, they can point you to a website for you to go to do some research. So I said, really follow those three key practices, and you'll find yourself, language or no language, finding yourself to be successful in your path forward toward achieving your goals and objectives.
Yeah, but Lord, I agree with you, but there's a lot of people missing the point. They maybe has the opportunity to get the same kind of encounter with the consular, to have some Haitian folks to help them, but they failed anyway. So I think there is something that you did, and also if did, that was not part of your narrative, because I think you cannot say everyone could be the vice president of a big company today in the US in technology because you are young and have some English as a second language courses, because most American students fail. Most of them fail completely. And I saw people, I remember one of my students, he was the son of one of the highest diplomat in the US, but he is Black. This guy was bright, but he fell completely. He refused to do what he has to do to be successful. So you did something that I would like you to lay out a little bit for us, your life, briefly, not to give too much, but you did something that a lot of folks didn't do, because you cannot be there just because you are lucky. It's impossible.
Well, yeah, I mean, for my part, I'm going to turn it over to soon, right? It's one thing. Of course, luck, is always there, lurking around, right? We can't just, say, hey, this person, I'm the brightest person in it, that's why I'm here. But, you can make a left turn or a right turn, and then you're in a different place. But the point is, it all comes down, I think, to the support system that we have. And that's what Lud was saying, the counselor is part of the support system, but your brothers and sisters and home and your environment, all part of the support system. It doesn't matter how much money you have, as you said, the son of that diplomat, right? But if he didn't have that support, at home or whatever or around him, say, hey, if that's what you like to do, stick to it. And that's what I think I did. I stick to it because if I had a vision for myself. I want to graduate as an engineer, and so I stuck to it. And fortunately, I had the support system there in place to encourage me to do it.
Expectations. So it starts, I would say it starts with the expectations from your family, and it also starts with the expectations of yourself, right? I'll tell you. So you have to know where you want to go, and your family needs to also be part of the plan. Because when I came to the States, it didn't matter how tough it was for us, because it was really difficult for us in the US as a brand new family, a family of 5, all coming in at once, and trying to really navigate this crazy world that we didn't understand at all, because to us, everything was crazy at that point in time. But there was one thing that I recall that wasn't an option. And the option was, you're going to go to school, right? So, I mean, not the option, the mandate was, you're going to go to school. whether we have the dollar or not to give you to take a bus or take the train to go to school, you are going to go to school, right? Because that's what is going to take you to that next level. So that was a starting point, right? The other part is knowing that um, you see where you land in the US as compared to where you were in Haiti in one form or another. And you also see your cousins, your other family members that you've known, and you see them being successful. You have that drive, right? First of all, you have that family expectation, and you also have that drive because you can see where you can be. And I think that's the point that Eve mentioned earlier, is setting the right example is very important, right? People need to see that they have the potential to get there because others have done it, right? So that's true. And for yourself as well, you must want it. You must want it. It doesn't matter what your parents or your people around you tell you. You must want it. And wanting it means that you work your tail off. You study, you study, you study. You go for the job interviews. You actually travel. Us, we used to, after I met even college, as I said, job fairs. We'll get in the car with friends of ours and we'll drive out of state. And to this day, I believe that my parents never know where I landed when I was looking for work because I'd leave my house in the morning in a suit and I'll drive and drive and drive and I don't even know where I'm going, right? And then just to get that interview, just to talk with people. And I was scared to death because I didn't speak the language. And to this day, I tend to tell folks that I don't speak English. Well, I speak English. But my point here is I did not let it stop me. I did not let it get in the way. So you must want it, right? Because if you don't want it, you're not going to get it. And wanting requires a lot of work. And last but not least, and I'll give this example because I tell Eve this all the times. When I realized that language shouldn't be a barrier was when I met an old boss of mine. His accent was heavy. He had the heaviest accent that I could think of. And this guy was the executive director of a large company. He never let his accent stand in his way. And I said, he could do that, right? If he can do that, so can I. Let me not be shy about having an accent and let that stand in my way. So yes, the willingness and the interest to do it, the drive and knowing that you need to keep pushing that door open to make progress are all of the things that you need to have. I mean, that's my 2 cents on that one. Hopefully that helped answer your question, John.